the latest information. Editor's Pick. Join us.
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. The program is Editor's Pick and it's coming to you live from the studios of RSTV Television, Channel 22 here in Port Harcourt. I am the editor, OTUNUAHIA AZUNWENA. Today is November 20th, 2023, and it's been celebrated as World Children's Day. The World Children's Day is UNICEF's annual day of action for children by children, marking the adoption of the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Children's rights are human rights too. However, those rights have been trampled upon and heavily attacked in varying degrees and at different places because children do not have a voice of their own. On World Children's Day, UNICEF is providing space for children and young people to speak up on issues that matter to them. International law says duty bearers must respect, protect, and fulfill children and young people's rights. And so for this year, 2023, we're looking at For Every Child, Every Right. World Children's Day was first established in 1954 as Universal Children's Day and is celebrated on 20th November each year to promote international togetherness, awareness among children worldwide, and improving children's welfare. November 20th is an important date as it is the date in 1959 when the UN General Assembly adopted the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. It is also the date in 1989 when the UN General Assembly adopted the Convention on the Rights of the Child. Mothers, fathers, teachers, nurses, doctors, government leaders, civil society activists, religious and community elders, corporate organizations, media professionals, as well as young people and the children themselves can play an important role in making World Children's Day relevant for the society, community, and the nations at large. World Children's Day offers each of us an inspirational entry point to advocate, promote, and celebrate children's rights, translating into dialogues and actions that will build a better world for our children. The UN advocates that every child a livable planet. Children have a right to a safe and livable planet. Every child a voice. Children must be listened to and included in all decisions that affect them. Every child, peace. Every child, everywhere, has a right to live in a peaceful world. Now you can watch RSTV News Live on YouTube at RSTV Online and Facebook at RSTV 22 Film Online. You can subscribe and click the notification bell for updates on our live feeds. Now we're going to take a few clips on that. When we come back, we're going to talk with some children because today is World Children's Day. And of course the theme for this year's celebration is climate resilience and action by duty bearers. We're going to listen to the children after now as they talk about the climate and how it affects them. Stay tuned.
Facts of climate change. I hope I'm coming through clearly. I'm hearing a little bit of background noise. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Okay, great. The other thing is, in 2021, UNICEF first published what is called the Children's Climate Risk Index. And here we rank kind of countries based on their exposure to climate change, also the vulnerability of communities in order to respond to climate shocks and stressors. And through this ranking, Nigeria actually ranked second, worst alongside Nigeria worldwide, in terms of the children's exposure and vulnerability to climate change, knowing that 110 million children in Nigeria make up 10% of the 1 billion children worldwide who live in extremely high-risk countries affected by climate change. And in particular, UNICEF is a child rights organization, and with a focus on children, we're particularly
a factor in the acceleration of climate change over the past century. The scientific evidence is available and is quite overwhelming. Regardless of how successful humans have been at limiting the root causes of our warming planet, society is facing significant impacts. Some extended periods of drought and extreme temperatures and other adverse effects of climate change. As part of activities marking the 2023 World Children's Day through the Youth World Project, UNICEF is partnering with schools on tree planting to create a more conducive climate. Today's occasion provides ample opportunity to the effects of the changing climate. UNICEF is committed to working with the media to ensure right issues are widely communicated. We also want to hold duty bearers and stakeholders to action and to hold them accountable for preserving the climate and increasing chances of children everywhere in survival and development. Thank you.
Thank you.
For those burning issues, get full details every week as we bring you clearer pictures of happenings around the world as the editor picks the latest information. Editor's Pick. Join us. For those burning issues, get full details every week as we bring you clearer pictures of happenings around the world as the editor picks the latest information. Editor's Pick. Join us.
Okay, if you're just joining us, this is Editor Speak coming to you live from RSTV here in Port Harcourt. And we said it's World Children's Day, celebrated on the 20th of November. As it is, I have some children with me this morning, and it's about them. So they're going to tell us how this affects them, because it's the focus this time is every child, every right, and that is on climate resilience. So these children will be telling us how the climate, the change in climate is affecting them. Of course, we look at them and feel they don't have a voice, they're children. You'll be so amazed that they actually know what they want, they know what should be. So we'll hear from them this morning. On set with me is, I'm going to start off with the beautiful young lady sitting just by my side. She's Ejiofor Chineye Beulah. It's good to have you with us this morning.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, and then just the young man there is David Daumenia. I hope I got that correctly. Okay, you're welcome to RSTV. Okay, I'm going to start off with you, Beulah. Climate change. When we say climate change, what comes to your mind? Because I know that you people do a lot of geography at school and you talk about climate, but what would you tell us, assuming a child is watching now and doesn't know so much about climate change and has been hearing climate change, what comes to your mind? What would you tell us it means?
Okay. Climate change can be defined as a paradigm shift in the atmosphere of a place over a given period of time. It can be defined as a shift in the measures of climate, including rainfall.
Basically causes flooding in some. I personally am from Bayelsa, so I've experienced.
Oh, you're from Bayelsa?
Yes.
Okay.
In Bayelsa is a coastal region, so a lot rainfall has caused flooding in Bayelsa. Flooding eventually causes children to get displaced, children and their families, our parents and their children to get displaced from where they live in. I've seen a lot of children that are forced to move out. Some parents are not, they don't make enough income to support moving from one place to another. So flooding really affects children and their parents. So similar, they affect children and their parents. I also I've experienced a lot of flooding. As I said, I'm from Bayelsa. There's a lot of water and places that was waterlogged. The children are not allowed to go to school. I've heard that there's a time in Bayelsa academic calendar where children are forced to stay home from school due to the flood. So flooding has drastic effects on children.
I can attest to that because I have a family in Bayelsa State, and at a particular time of the year they shut down. The government shuts down the entire school for that period until flooding subsides. So truly, what you have said now is true. You're very correct. Okay, Chineye, you want to add anything to what he has said?
Flooding, like you said, can lead to waterlog in some areas, which restricts movement. So people are not free to move around to do their daily activities. The children are not allowed to go to school. They're not allowed to go anywhere because they can't even come out of their homes. Sometimes the water even gets into the house and they can't even stay at home. They don't know where to stay, which leads to displacements, relocation. They are found wandering. They have to move. Sometimes it's not convenient for them to move because they don't even know where to go to. Maybe flooding can lead to death when it's extreme. The water can actually wash away some people and people can drown in the water. In a case where a child who has only his parents who to look up to, the child that's dependent on his or her parents, and then the parent drowns in a flood, what do you expect the child to do? The child can't survive on its own and it's just lost and can't really support itself. So it's really a problem because flooding has various other effects. Aside from it being an effect on its own, it has various effects that it can lead to, which are dangerous for a child.
Okay. So what other disadvantages are there when we talk about climate change? What other, any of you can answer, whether David or Beulah, what other disadvantages are?
Climate change causes desert encroachment or desertification in the sense that agricultural land or farming land is now dry. There's no nutrients in the soil, there's no water for any farming. So looking at children need food to survive basically. So when you put
there's only children that need food, so I don't need food to survive. Okay, I know it's not there. I know it's children, okay.
It's on children. So children need food to survive, and this desertification and desert encroachment, it stops food production for a while and creates famine in the land. Desertification also causes like drought. So children do not have water to intake and water to have a proper bath and for other domestic uses.
Okay, so you have any other thing, any other disadvantage?
Okay, so we have trauma. This climate change can lead to different changes in a child's life. It can lead to relocation, it can lead to flooding, like the child has said. So when that child has gone through all of those, he's prone to experience mental health trauma, which might affect the child mentally, in the sense that the child depends on the parents for survival. So a child that has been forcefully taken away from the parents will actually find it very difficult to balance, and will find it very difficult to find him or herself and to actually live the way he wants to, or to live the way, because every child it's something that most children cannot do without. So they need their parents to survive. And according to the World Health Organization, it's estimated that about 88% of the existing global burden diseases caused by climate change affects children under the age of 5. So imagine a child that young already going through so much. It's going to obviously affect the child's mental health. In the long run, climate change can also lead to diseases such as eye cataracts, which is caused by excessive heat rays falling into the eyes, and then this climate change leads to ozone layer depletion. That's where the heat starts to fall into the eyes.
So it's not just about flooding now, whether it's rain or the hot season.
Yes,
okay.
So the heat that falls into the eye will cause eye cataracts, which can lead to blindness. We also have skin cancer, which is also another disease that's caused by climate change, and there are so many other diseases out there caused by climate change.
Okay, all right. We have a final word for us so that we can take a break and then bring the next person on board right now. A final word. Do you want to add anything? Go ahead.
That's what Chinia has said.
Okay.
Climate change is basically caused by chlorofluorocarbons and other emissions of gases. So what we children can do right now is to learn from our teachers. We encourage teachers exactly and parents to set up like seminars to educate children on the changes in the world, because they themselves, some children, as you said, some children may not know what climate change is and how it affects them. So I would encourage children to learn from their parents. If they have access to Google or the internet, I encourage them to look up on climate change and see how it affects them. Also, to add to what she has said again, climate change also causes heat rashes and heat. At my house right now, there's a huge heat wave, and there's no light and
that's Nigeria. I know in Nigeria you have to provide your own power. So the heat is not is something you don't want to experience, and of course that has to do. She mentioned the depletion of the ozone layer, and that is causing the heat and causing people to have rashes. Oh, that's a good one. We hope we are our own problem sometimes. One of the factors is that humans are the ones actually causing the depletion of the ozone layer, and that's actually what we are suffering right now. We understand it. We hope that the rashes will go away from the house. I will pray that government will give us light. We will have regular power supply so that there will be light for you to enjoy and not have the rashes. Okay. We'll take a short break now. The program is the Editor Speak, and it's coming to you live from RSTV. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, and the children are still here. We'll talk with them. Stay tuned.
For those burning issues, get full.
Okay, Esther, let's have you.
Happens around the world as the editor picks the latest information. Editor's pick. For those burning issues, get full details every week as we bring you clearer pictures of happenings around the world as the editor picks the latest information. Editor's pick. Those burning issues get full details every week as we bring you clearer pictures of happenings around the world as the editor picks the latest information. Editor's pick. Join us. Those burning issues get full details every week as we bring you clearer pictures of happenings around the world as the editor picks the latest information. Editor's pick. Join us.
The program is still Editor's Pick, and it's coming to you live from RSTV here in Port Harcourt, and we'll have some children here. It's 20th of November 2023. It's World Children's Day. I've talked with, before we went on that short break, I talked with Ejiofor Chineye Bula and of course David Daunemir. And joining us now is Esther Ibitamono Harold Hart. It's good to have you with us this morning.
Same here, Ma. It's a pleasure.
Okay. You heard what they said before you came on. So what other thing would you add? I know that Beulah and David talked about flooding. They talked about the heat wave caused by climate change. What other factor affects children as relates or as regards climate change? What other thing do you think affect you people as regards climate change?
In areas where they have wildfires, the children are affected by the pollution there caused by the wildfires, and then they don't go to schools, and also they have to put on nose masks. And then for the younger ones, they have
you can clear your throat, you're free.
All right, thank you, Mom.
Go ahead, clear your throat.
For the younger ones, thank you, they have to put on nose masks, and sometimes it's not comfortable. We can also see during the COVID time where some children suffocated out of wearing the nose mask, and those in wildfire prone areas, like in areas like France, the European countries, they just have to do this so that the bad air like CO, carbon monoxide, doesn't get into their lung and suffocate them and cause poisoning to their blood.
Okay. So what do you expect? What do you think should be done? Because most times it's believed that you people are the receiving end because children do not have a voice. They are usually the voices they have are the voices of their parents. What do you people want? What do you think should be done for you people to make the climate, to make the environment safer and better for you? If you were to be asked what you want, how do you want the environment to be? How do you want the climate to be? What would you say?
The environment needs to be safer for children so that we'll be able to grow well. In some areas, people decided not to raise their children in soot-prone areas so they can breathe in fresh air. Like I know of someone who relocated when they were in River State. They claimed the child had asthma, but when he relocated for over how many years, he hasn't had that situation again. So we want the air to be safe. We want to breathe in.
So hold on, when the child was here, yes, it was confirmed there was an asthma case?
Yes.
Oh wow.
But when they left, no asthma at all ever since they've been there. So we want the air to be cleaner, we want the air to be safer, we want to be able to breathe in and breathe out, and not holding our breath due to a bad bus passing with or as a fixed car with zero emission, or generally pass finding board generators like they say here and there. We want carbon footprints to be reduced so that we children can have a safe environment and a good childhood memory. Like Chineye said, we don't want those traumas of floodings, wildfires and other things that come with climate change.
Okay, a child watching may not understand what you mean by climate footprint. What is that?
Oh, carbon footprints. These are the things that put carbon into the atmosphere. For example, the easiest one here is burning of fossil fuels, the job of the NNPC, the LNG, where they have to flare gas and also make diesel, kerosene, basically just coal-powered things.
Okay. David, what other thing would you tell us apart from what she has said? What do you want? What kind of environment do you want? What would you advocate for? Because apart from corporate bodies, government, everybody putting heads together to make the climate, they make the environment safe for children. What would you want as a child?
I would want a better environment in totality. I would want a situation where, because we all are growing up, in the next 20 years, most of us will be parents. So I want a situation where my child will be able to breathe in fresh air and not have like asthma attacks all the time. So for solutions to as what we can do as children, as I said before, another thing is awareness, like what we're doing right now, giving awareness about climate change, because obviously it's apart from corruption and other things going on in Nigeria, climate change is one of the major problems in Nigeria right now that everybody's overlooking. That it's just a normal day, that inhaling carbon monoxide from a bus going by just a normal thing, everyday thing, but it's actually not. It's actually detrimental to a child's health, and as Chineye said, mental trauma. And as Esther said, I don't want to grow up and look back at all these days, because I want to look back at my childhood and smile, not frown and cry. So it's a very serious issue for us children. I know us children, it seems like we have it all easy, that our parents can take us to school, we don't have to drive, we don't have to pay taxes, we don't have to work day and night, but we also face challenges created by adults.
Wow, what are some of those challenges we have created?
Looking at it from what we're talking about now, the emission of carbon gases from cars. We also have volcanic emissions. I know that's not what adults have.
That one is natural.
Yes, volcanic emissions that emit carbon and other procalcistic materials into the earth. We also have gas flaring, or your liquid nitrogen gases, your LNG. All those, they all cause problems in a child's life, and they're very detrimental, as I said before.
Okay, have you heard that some children do not even have where they could use as, they don't have proper toilet systems? Are you aware that some people do not have proper toilet system? And what would you say about that? What would you think should be done to help them? Because we are here in the city, it's a different ballgame altogether, but it's not the same thing for the ones in the villages. So what would you say? We are even from Bayelsa State, and there's so much flooding and all that in that area. It happens in River State here, Ahoda area and all that experience flooding. But if you have heard about the availability of toilet system, what do you think should be done for them, for the children?
It's a job of the government to provide a good toilet system for...
Government should provide?
Yes.
When we build our houses, do we bring in government to build our houses for us?
No, in the rural areas, there should be a provision for a toilet system. And also, it's not just about what our country does for us, it's what we can do for our country. As citizens, we shouldn't defecate in open places. You see places, do not urinate, people will
cancel the nuts and put and then they will urinate there, not even caring what it's doing to the environment. And then when the place is smelly, they be like the government. So they should be able to put in measures for those in the rural areas. Life doesn't just exist in the city. There's life out there in the villages.
So we keep heaping blames on government. We have our parts to play there. Okay, final words, David. You have something to say?
One of the main differences between an urban and a rural settlement is that urban settlements have more income than rural settlements. Some people see that public defecation is just a form of fertilizer for plants to grow, but it's unhealthy. It's unhealthy. And seeing people that write like, if you defecate here, you pay 10,000 naira fine. Sometimes it's just a scam. Writing that on a wall won't stop open defecation, as open defecation is still a form of pollution, is air pollution. So nobody wants to smell feces on their way to school. So what we should do right now, this is giving information to children who don't know much about any of these things. Rural settlements, they have their own share of problems. So what we can do, it's not all the time that government will do stuff for us, because we blame the government. Oh, there's something wrong with Nigeria, government. We should also try and pitch in, do our own part. If we work together, we can make Nigeria a better and safer place, not only for the adults, but also for the children.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Well, this morning on Editor Speak, I've had 3 delectable, intelligent children that have spoken to us on World Children's Day, and of course, with focus on climate resilience and how it affects them, how things can be better for them. And they want to be happy that years after now, when they have become parents, they can look back and be happy that they had a beautiful time as children. Well, I've had with me David down in here. I've had with me Esther in the Terminal Howard Heart, and of course Chineye Bula Ejiofor. We've talked so much on this, and this is where we'll wrap it up on the program for today. We thank you so much